Now, through mind's windows, stare the demigod. See, so man has come from a reasoning animal. What we see here, out of this man who has now become a mental being, will arrive the demigod. Will arrive the demigod, you see. So she is building up her argument very systematically. Now, through mind's windows, stare the demigod, hidden behind the curtains of man's soul, hidden behind the curtains of man's soul. That is the whole occult. How is the demigod going to arrive? That the soul and the inner being has to do that. The soul has to receive those powers and prepare a new being. Now, obviously, now through mind's windows stares the demigod. Well, I mean, poetically straightforward. There is nothing difficult in that line. Hidden behind the curtains of man's soul, the occult way by which the demigod will arrive, that she is not disclosing at the moment. She is making a statement. It is the preparation is going on within. The preparation is going on within. Now, this can happen by both the processes. Hidden behind the curtains of man's soul, by the very power of nature, things have come up to this point. Nature has brought out man by the preparation of the inner being, slowly, through eons like that, you see. Now, in the same manner, the demigod might also arrive on the scene, will arrive on the scene. If nothing happens, nature will pursue it. She will labor on the job and she will see that tomorrow the demigod does arrive on the scene. Meaning the inner being will be built up by her. That is the natural way of things happening. The other could be, to some extent, by bringing down the higher powers and making them work within, you sort of help the process of nature's working and build up more quickly. That is how you collaborate with nature. Nature collaborates with you. The mother says nature has agreed to collaborate, you see. That is how the collaboration will take place. So, by its own natural way, the demigod will arrive, but it will be hastened by bringing down the higher powers. That higher power can be brought down by only yogic tapasya of a siddha, of a yogi, of a realized soul who has contact with those realities. He alone can do that kind of a thing, you see. Now, through mind's windows, so he says now, because of the possibility of the yoga, or the yogi working here to hasten the process of nature, to carry it forward. Now, through mind's windows, stares the demigod. It's not that it will happen. Now, through mind's windows, will stare the demigod. No, stares. It means that the preparation has really been done to that extent, you see. Now, through mind's windows, stare the demigod, hidden behind the curtains of man's soul. He has seen and known, looked on truth's veilless face. A ray has touched him from the eternal sun. A ray has touched him from the eternal sun. That is what has really made this possible. The arrival of the demigod has been hastened because a ray has touched man. What is that ray? Eternal sun. the supramental ray, supramental light has entered into the process. And therefore it is going to work. A ray has touched in from the eternal sun, motionless, voiceless, in foreseeing depths. He stands awake in supernature's light and sees the glory of arisen wing and sees the vast descending might of God. So that is the prospect. That is what is going to happen with the arrival of the demigod. Because the ray has touched, motionless, voiceless, the foreseeing depths, he stands awake in supernature's light and sees a glory of arisen wing and sees the vast descending might of God. So it is the power of God who is going to work. Why might? Because for this process of building the inner personality of this new being is against the obstructionist forces of the inconscient nature. The nature is trying, but she has to struggle against inconscience also. And therefore, to overcome the struggle, that might of inconscience, there has to be the might of God. Power is not love, it is not joy, no, they are there. But what is first required is strength, power, to withstand the possibility of the opposition coming in the way like that, you see. Might of God, O death, thou lookst on an unfinished world. Poor death. Poor death. Thou lookst on an unfinished world. But wherefrom did our dear Savitri got this knowledge? He does not know it, but she knows it. It is obvious that Savitri has opened out herself totally, fully now. The person who is standing in front of death, who is countering death, is not human Savitri. It is the power of her incarnation, who is talking and speaking to death through human personality. In other words, she has now kind of revealed herself who she is. It's not human Savitri who is going to speak that. The divine Savitri has now projected herself fully through human Savitri there, and it is she who is speaking for that, you see. And therefore she has a knowledge. How she has a knowledge? Because of course she is divine. But she has a knowledge now, in the sense that things had now come to a certain level, certain grade, that these things can happen. And therefore she is asserting it. She was not asserting it yesterday. She was not asserting it day before yesterday. She was not asserting last year. She is asserting it today. Because things have now matured up to that point. And therefore she can assert it now. When she is speaking, it means that it is going to happen. O death, thou lookst on an unfinished world, assailed by thee, and of its road unsure, peopled by imperfect minds and ignorant lives, and sayest, God is not, and all is vain. Well, that is straightforward, you see. This is like an explanation to a child. Death is a small ignorant fellow, and he has to be told, assailed by thee, and of his road unsure, peopled by imperfect minds and ignorant lives, and says, God is not, and all is vain. How shall the child already be the man? Now, I mean, does it mean that death does not understand this? That Savitri has to assert it this way. How shall the child already be the man? She is, of course, giving a homely example, simile, household example. The baby is there growing and suddenly becomes man. But how does that happen? How does the child become man? It becomes by both. By the very process of nature, he grows, matures up, becomes an adult, becomes man by the very process of nature. Also, there is something else which is there in him, which pushes him to become man. There is something within him which drives him forward. So while the nature is driving, the soul is also pushing you forward, because at different levels you've got different expressions of the soul. Same way, when child becomes man, each child will become a different man. It is not that all of them will be the same uniform motor cars, you see, coming out of a factory. Each one will be different, you see, because there is an inner personality which grows that manner. How shall the child already be the man? She says that there has been all along the inner working, the process is going on all the while, and it is that which pushes man to become real man, you see. How shall the child already be the man? Because he is infant, shall he never grow? Well, that is how small children will argue with each other, you see. She is putting that way, you see. Because he is infant, shall he never grow? Because he is ignorant, shall he never learn? Now, this is a little doubtful. It's not that each and every child will learn. It's not that, you see, each and every child. But she is talking of a person, of a child who has really matured up, which has grown, which is a possibility opened out. You see. It is like a flower. Because it is a bud, will it never blossom?